IEBC chairman focused on several key issues of public concern on the general election. He sought to calm nerves over ghost voters, saying dead voters won't vote since authentication is foolproof. Let's just listen into more of what he said earlier on today.
The Kenya Integrated Management System acquired will work at an optimum capacity as comprehensive training has been done to all our staff to avoid any issue of technology failure. KIM's devices were acquired having a dual SIM capacity, hence the ability to minimize downtimes occasioned by weak internet connectivity by automatically picking the strongest network available in a given location while transmitting results. The Commission has acquired a primary and secondary data center to mitigate the risk of systematic failures triggered by technological hitches while relaying results to the National Tallying Center. That is primary server, if it fails, secondary server kicks in on real time. And so we can never have a situation where systems stop. The Commission has invested a lot in redundancy in terms of back-end data processing. And the Commission has conducted testing and simulation is going on, but the major exercise will be done involving all stakeholders, the media, the civil society, on the 31st of July this year. That's when we shall do a major testing, simulation test of the system for purposes of results transmission. What happens in result transmission if there's failure due to network? And we have been told there are rumors that the internet may disappear on that day. Of course, those are unfounded rumors. But this is a serious risk which we cannot ignore as a commission. The Commission, together with the Communication Authority of Kenya and telecom companies, must work together and ensure that results transmission on election day happens without failure. In the previous, companies must work together.
All right, so that is Wafula Chebukati. He was speaking earlier on this morning with two journalists at the Bomas of Kenya, and our very own Patrick Amimo was there this morning. Thank you very much, Patrick, for joining us here on the show. So first things first, what struck out for you in Wafula Chebukati's address? I mean, he spoke over quite a number of issues, but going by the environment in the country right now, the issues that have been raised by the opposition, what is the thing that struck out for you the most?
I think what was of major concern is for people, both the civil society, political parties, and the international community are concerned that they want to get assurance from IEBC that this time around they'll conduct a free, fair, and credible election. That was one thing that really occupied the minds there. That's why we saw at least the chairperson identify certain areas, at least 8 key areas where he felt that they are of concern to this particular poll. And one of the issues was to do with the dead voters. Right. And he said that the biometric identification of voters will be the primary key. So everybody, at least 98.8% of the Kenyan voters, will be identified biometrically before they are allowed to vote. And he said that at least through the audit that was done by KPMG, there are about 5,300 Kenyans whose biometrics cannot be captured by the KIMs. So for this particular 5,300, they'll have a separate register, which will be confirmed by the agents of all parties that will be participating in the poll. The other issue was to do with the coalition of there's political parties, either with the printer, Al Ghurair, and you've seen the opposition NASA say that they were suspecting, and they said maybe the printer had contact with the Jubilee aspirant candidate, who is President Uhuru Kenyatta, a matter that the court said NASA did not provide enough evidence at that particular time. And we saw the IEBC go with the team once the Court of Appeal ruled last Friday that the Al Ghurair can go ahead with the printing of these ballot papers. But then something has emerged. Today we saw the presidential candidate of Third Way Alliance, Ekuru Aukot, claim that when his agents arrived at Dubai, already 95% of the ballot papers had been printed and they could not cannot now verify whether those security features on the presidential ballot were keen or not. But now Chebukati, on answering that particular question, he did say that he did dismiss, of course, saying that those allegations are not genuine, and he says that they started, yes, after the Court of Appeal made a ruling, they started the printing of the papers on the 25th. The other issue that was looked at...
On that note, has NASA come out to, give their stance on that process?
That, I'm yet to know whether the NASA has responded to those allegations. Only the third way around that has come up
to say something.
With regard to the printing.
Okay.
The other issue is to do with whether there will be on the tabulation of these results, because right now the polling station is the center of focus, and the results announced at the constituency level will be final. So in case to offset any idea of maybe someone playing around with the figures there, IEBC says it will be sending a verification team to the fields, to each polling station, to ensure that the figures captured are real and there's no idea of maybe erroneous tabulation of those figures. And also this time around, they've also made sure that their staff, there's that transparency and accountability, and also the staff have been, they love to swear to ensure that they are personally responsible. And the Election Act 2016 is very, very specific on this matter. If you're a presiding officer and you happen to give false results, then you stand to be jailed for 1 year. I mean, you stand to pay a fine of 1 million shillings and a jail term of 6 years. So these are some of the measures that have been put in place to deter this idea of maybe ballot stuffing and or thieving of elections. The other aspect, maybe lastly important, was to do with the technology in case of failure during the result transmission process. And he says the IEBC has brought on board this time round all the 3 mobile service providers, that is Safaricom, Airtel, and Telcom, which recently has now a 4G network. And also apart from that, these 3 service providers, we also have satellite phones. Will be used in all the 290 tallying centers at the constituency level and the 45 tallying centers at the county level. So these satellite kits will be there. So in case of any failure, they'll come on board. So he expressed confidence that there will be no internet failure when it comes to the transmission of results, because all the 3 mobile subscribers, we expect there are areas that they enjoy strength in network. So he expects there will be a seamless transmission of the results. All
right. Thank you very much, Patrick Amimo, for that detailed overview of what Wafula Chebukati had to say earlier on when he met journalists to just pretty much explain and convince Kenyans that indeed IEBC is ready to hold the elections. Thank you very much, Patrick, for that. All right.